Flourish members. This is Brandy Inman, one of your photography experts here in Flourish. And today I'm going to be talking to you about styling your product photography. We have been talking a lot about target market here in Flourish this photography month, and I wanted to create a short presentation on some tips to think about when you are styling your product photography. I know it can get a little bit confusing sometimes and overwhelming when it comes to backgrounds and props and location and lighting. So I just wanted to put together this quick presentation to try to help you out. So after this is over, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I will get to those as soon as possible. So the first thing I want to talk about is your background. Your background is extremely important and should be one of the first things you think about when you are styling your photos, when you're starting to photograph your products. Your background is going to represent your brand. It's going to attract or push away your target market, and it's a very crucial thing that you need to think hard about and pick out before you even start. You need to pick out a background that is going to complement all your products so you can keep consistency in your shop and your website. So I want to show you a couple examples about what I mean with that. Here we have the same exact products, two totally different photos, both shot at the same time, at the same shoot. The top right photo you see here has a white background. It's a very soft look, and it would probably attract, a classy bride, and it looks like it would go into a bridal suite, and it just has a whole different look from the bottom left one. The bottom left one was shot on wood. I styled it a little bit with some cut up limes, and it has a more edgier feel. Those two different photos, they look like they belong in two different shops. If I took some photos of the same products, the white background, and then put those in my shop, and then put some at the bottom in my shop too, those would look like they belong in two different places, and it would kind of be a little confusing to people that went to your shop. They might be turned on or turned off by it. So just to show you that your background has a lot to do with the vibe that you're trying to put across when people look at your photos. And I can't say enough, if you're gonna use backgrounds like this, I really highly suggest using real stuff. The vinyl backgrounds, they're great for short-term use, but if you're really serious about upping your game in photography, I highly suggest shooting on real surfaces. The photo up here with the white background was shot on a piece of marble that I have, and this one down here, this is real wood. This is a little square plank that I have that my husband stained for me, and I use it for product photography. It has a better feel than the vinyl backgrounds that you order online. Same thing again, two totally different backgrounds, same product, same props even, but a different feel in each one. You don't always have to use a white piece of backdrop to get that white and bright. You can use different textures, different surfaces to get that white feel. Your backdrop doesn't always have to be a surface or a piece of tile or a piece of cloth or something. You can use real environments to set your background. This was a real kitchen. And if you're using real locations, real rooms, Make sure that that room is speaking to your brand and your target market. This sign inside of a log cabin kitchen would set an entirely different vibe than it does in the white subway tile kitchen. So really think about that. Your kitchen at home may not be the perfect setting for your target market and your shop that you have. I use Airbnbs a lot. This is actually an Airbnb here, and my kitchen looks totally different. So if you're looking for the perfect location, I would either ask your neighbors, ask your family and friends if they have what you're looking for, and see if you can shoot in there. But knowing what you're looking for is going to be key. If you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what color scheme you're going for, or what your brand represents, then it's going to be hard to find the perfect backdrop for your products. Again, kitchen sign, totally different kitchen, totally different feel. If we go back here, it's very white and clean. You kind of have like a more semi-modern look, but here is definitely like a cozy country kitchen. Very, very different vibe. Very, very different, two different target markets that you would attract. And sometimes you don't even have to have your products close to a backdrop. This basket that I shot was at least 4 feet away from the wall. I'm a big believer in having backlit products. It's where the light is coming in from behind. I take a reflector and bounce the light back onto here. It kind of gives that moody, nice and cozy feel. But if I would have put this next to the window, like very up close, then you wouldn't have had this whole vibe that you have going on here. You can see the windows. And I definitely could have shot this on a perfectly white background and had the same kind of vibe, but this makes you feel like you're in somebody's home, or you know, you've walked into somebody's room and you see this here, but still your eyes are on the product. The background is not distracting, but you still get the cozy vibe that you're looking for. So let's talk about props. Props can be a huge issue when we are trying to style our product photography. Props can either make it or break it. They can become distracting if they're not placed right. They can become confusing if they don't really go with the scene. So choosing our props has a lot to do with how well we know our products. We first must think about where our products are going to be used when people buy them. Where are people going to put our products in their homes after they buy them? This coaster here has a lot to do with coffee. First I drink the coffee and then I do the things. Super cute. When I saw that, I knew that, hey, this maker wants this used with coffee. So I started thinking about coffee. When do you drink coffee? You drink coffee in the morning. Okay, so let's set the scene for breakfast. Why not? I styled this coaster with some breakfast. Had a muffin, had some fresh fruit. If you're going to use food, I highly suggest using real food. People connect with it. They know if it's real or fake. I know a lot of you guys are making fake cakes right now. Those are great. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about little items like this, little items like olives and stuff that you can pick up at the grocery store. If you can do that, then please do it. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have to eat all this after you're done, and that's not a big problem. So I really suggest trying to use real props in your photos, especially when it comes to food. Now, we don't want the props to overpower our product. You see, I used a pretty wide aperture here because I'm close to the product, but everything around it is out of focus. I'm focused just on here. So my eyes go here first, but I'm still aware of everything around. Again, let's set the scene for your product. This product would look totally different if we put it in another scene. If we put it on a wood background and didn't put any props around it. People would still know what it was for, but this really sets the scene and makes them feel like this belongs in their bridal suite. It feels like a bride is getting ready. She's put her bouquet down for just a minute to put on some lipstick, and she's getting ready to walk down the aisle. The lipstick's a little out of focus. You know, the bouquet is not overpowering. It's kind of set to the side and out of focus. So we know what's going on here, but we're not distracted by the props. Articles of clothing are great to use in scenes like this. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. When you look at this photo, you definitely think the guys are getting ready. The guys are getting ready for the wedding. They're having a little bit of fun with their flasks. They're not yet totally ready because they're having a little too much fun because they haven't put their tie on, their shoes are still off, and you have a little bottle of liquor here that proves that. So just set the scene. It wouldn't make too much sense if we put these same 3 products on the last scene with the flowers and stuff. No, we know that it's at a wedding, but it's a totally different look than what we had going on in the bridal suite back there. And this also speaks to the target market. Some grooms don't have a couple shots while they're getting ready. That's not the target market that we're after. We're after for the groom and the best men and the groomsmen that are willing to have, you know, a little bit of fun before they say I do. And that's okay. Okay. Don't be afraid to shoot through your props sometimes. Your props don't always have to be in the background or beside your products. You can scatter them around to make it feel more real. I'm a big fan of shooting through the props. I like to put smaller props in front of my products. It didn't hide anything, but just having the champagne cork in front instead of in the back kind of makes me feel like the scene is more real. And then you have the bottle tipped over, and that kind of makes people know that, hey, they have finished this bottle of champagne because nothing's pouring out. And I know that's a bottle of champagne, you know. I don't have to see the entire bottle to know that that's champagne. My eyes go directly to the product. Nothing's overpowering. I see a little flower in the back. Everything's good. These 2 glasses would attract a totally different crowd styled a different way and even on a different background. So knowing who you're trying to speak to is definitely something that you want to know. Again, like I said, I'm a big fan of putting props in front. Not hiding anything, of course, but I like to kind of frame my products with my props. Using a wider aperture is going to set stuff like this out of focus, so you can focus right on what you're trying to show. Your viewer's eye is going to go right to the glass and what it says, but at the same time, they're still going to notice the things around here, and it's just not going to be overpowering like you would think. Having them out of focus, having something in the background. I don't know if you guys, I used to paint a lot, so I'm familiar with background, middle ground, foreground. So you want to make sure all those things are taken care of. Most of the time a viewer's eye goes right to the middle ground first. So having stuff in front of it is going to be easier on the eyes and help your viewer focus in on what you want them to see. And if your products are used for ceremonies or religious stuff, make sure that you're really getting that point across. You don't want them to be confused about what they're used for, and you don't want them to have any kind of question of what your product is and where it should be used. And if you're going to go big, go really big. It's a pain in the butt, I know, but setting up a scene is so important to make your viewer and your clients feel like they need this product in their life. It takes a while sometimes. I know, I do this for a living. It takes a while to set up scenes and move props around and really get the look that you want. But knowing what look you want is the first step. If you don't know what look you want, make sure that you're getting inspired somehow. Make sure that you're going on Pinterest or you're going on social media. Don't compare yourself to others. Just get inspired. This scene right here was from one of my party shoots, and there's a lot involved in here. There's cupcakes and macarons and flowers, and there's a cake in the background. And kind of stacking things sometimes in the background really makes people think like it's a real set, it's a real party. So let's talk about clothing. When we're shooting models, clothing can make it or break it too. Clothing can either complement our products, it can set the scene, it can attract our target market, it can really, the clothing and model photography has a lot to do with your background. Your viewers are going to look at the clothing. They're going to feel a vibe. If you have one photo of the same product and somebody is wearing a blue dress, and then the next photo, same product, somebody's wearing a wedding dress, those are two totally different vibes, even though it's the same product. Like here, this product was shot, she had a wedding dress on, or what looks like a wedding dress. She's holding a product, you feel like she's about to get married. She's either giving this gift to her bridesmaid or somebody gave it to her. But when we go to the next photo, same shop, same card, same model, different clothing, totally different vibe. You see, maybe she got this gift for her birthday. She's giving this to her mom for Mother's Day. Totally different vibe. And the lighting too. Our lighting will make it or break it. So those are all factors that you have to think about when you are styling your photos. This is a very mood, romantic lighting. And this is more just, you know, neutral lighting. Here again, you see the model, she has on this jacket with her headband, and automatically you think workout. She's going to work out, she's going to go for a run, she's going to the gym, she wants to keep her hair pulled back. And in the next photo, same model, same headbands, took the jacket off, total casual look now. She's going to the park, she's, you know, going to a football game, something like that. Totally different vibe. If you want to really mix up your photos and attract different customers for the same product, then changing out the clothing has a lot to do with that. You don't have to spend a ton of money on model wardrobe, okay? When we first glance at this photo, obviously we're looking right at the flower crown here, and we think bride. She has her hair down, she's kind of a gypsy boho bride. She has a beautiful lace dress on, but believe it or not, this shirt, it wasn't even a dress. It was a shirt that I found at Walmart for $3. I saw that it had lace sleeves, and I picked it up. It didn't fit her, so we pinned it in the back. And the way I styled her hair and posed her to bring attention to that right arm of hers, it gave a real wedding feel. So if you weren't there at the set, you would never know that this was not a real bride or a shirt. Adding clothing can definitely help, like we talked about before with the workout wear. Same girl, same shoot. The first photo there, she kind of has a sexier look. She just has a tank top on, beautiful jewelry, and then we go to the next shot and she's put a jean jacket over her tank top and it's a more casual look. Two totally different vibes. Same person, same shop, same maker, but she's going to attract two different people from these two different shots. And location. So location has a lot to do with your target market and your brand as well. If you haven't already seen a trend here, styling your photos definitely has to do with your target market and your brand. So if you're struggling with those two things, I highly suggest taking a back step, thinking about your brand, your color scheme, who you're trying to attract, who your target market is, what age range you're trying to attract, all those different things before you dive face first into your product photography. So location. This outfit right here with this model would have looked totally different if I had taken her out into a field with golden sunlight. Here you have more of a polished look. You think shopping, you have the shops behind her. She's having fun. But this background has a more mall look, polished look. Definitely, you know, a bright vibe. This is more boho feel. And you don't have to find a huge location to shoot stuff like this. I was looking for tall grass, and the tall grass that you see behind here, this was about it. It was a small patch of tall grass. I just brought her away from it a little bit, sat her on a stool in front of it to make sure that I had it in my background. But it makes you feel like she's in a big open field. You don't have to get too crazy about your location. Spend some time at your location, because as the light changes, so is the scene, and you may miss out on some beautiful light, or you may show up at your shoot at the totally wrong time, and it can be, you know, a completely different setting than what you thought it was going to be. Style up your background a little bit too. It's easy to set a scene. This scene here was shot in a just average or in the middle hotel room. She's on the bed, but what catches your eye is the balloons behind her. Whenever we see these big golden balloons, we know somebody's celebrating, it's exciting. These balloons, it came in a pack, and even though we can't see exactly what it's saying from this shot, we know that she's celebrating something. This pack of balloons was at Walmart for $4. It said cheers, and it's just something that I put in the background to kind of set the scene. So you don't have to get too fancy with your backdrop sometimes. You want your focus on your product. At the same time, you want to put your models in a location that makes sense with the scene that you're trying to set. So with that being said, I want you guys to really get inspired about your styling. Really set the scene. Make your customers and your clients and your viewers feel like it was shot in a real environment. You don't want them to feel like it was staged. Think outside of the box. Really think about where your products would be found in people's homes. Make sure that your backdrops are going along with your themes and your color scheme of your business. People want to look at your photos and say, I need that in my house, or that goes great in my bedroom. I really need that. Really, really make sure that people know how to use your products or where it would go. There's nothing worse than looking at a product and seeing it just on a plain background, kind of slumped up against the wall with, you know, no energy to it. You don't want your products to feel sluggish. And you don't want your props to not make sense. Flowers are so easy to use in product photography, as long you know, along with plants. But if it doesn't go with that, then let's cut it out. Let's think a little bit bigger, okay? So with that being said, I will be here to answer questions. I would love to do a little critiques if you're unsure about your staging and your props. Please, please, please feel free to reach out and ask. I'm always here if you need help, and I will talk to you guys soon.